Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Golf on CBS YouTube page. Patrick here, and we have a very special conversation for you all out there. We got the time to spend a few minutes with three-time major champion, Travelers Championship winner, and perhaps all-time wild boy himself, Jordan Spieth. So let's kick it off to our conversation here. We now welcome on three-time major champion and, of course, 2017 Travelers Championship winner, Jordan Spieth. Jordan, I feel like we got to start with that 2017 tournament, being that you're back in Cromwell. Where would you rank that bunker shot, I guess, in terms of all-time short game shots or recovery shots of yours?
It's not super high on the difficulty level, but it was definitely probably the coolest shot I've ever hit in a tournament, just given the amphitheater setting, the amount of people, the reaction, our reaction, what it meant. I mean, it was, but yeah, as far as difficulty goes, there's a reason I hit it in that bunker after I hit a bad tee shot. It was like, all right, if we put it in here, it's not that bad of a shot. Certainly making it requires a bit of luck, but right place, right time. And yeah, it's a moment that whenever I come back here, I see pictures of it or it gets replayed or something, and I just get jacked up. It's awesome.
Do you have a number one on the difficulty scale that comes to mind?
I feel like every year I see someone else or my own or from somewhere, and I'm like, man, that had to be a top 5 ever. But I can't think of any right now off the top of my head. But yeah, I mean, the difficulty level, I mean, Ryan Gerard had one had one when I played with him in the final round this year at San Antonio that I don't think I've ever seen a better up and down than the one he had on 12 on Sunday. Ended up finishing second. So that's the first one that comes to mind. It wasn't mine, but I was in the group, and it was absolutely insane. Punched a 4-iron through a bunker from 50 yards out of the desert purposely, landed in the lip of the bunker, funnels out to like 8 feet. It's blowing like 30, 35 miles an hour. He makes the putt, continues his momentum, and shoots under par and moves all the way up to second. It was wild.
Damn, we'll have to look that one up. Speaking of escapes, you almost decapitated a guy there at Muirfield Village on number 1, and it reminded me, like on number 4 at Oakmont, there were those galleries on the right that people were hitting over out of the rough.
Yeah,
I'm curious from your guys' perspective. Has there ever been a moment where you're standing over the ball and you're like, shit, maybe I should get them to move back, and you go anyways?
Yeah. Honestly, I had more on. I had some on 5 at Memorial this year, where you're laying up to the right side on the par 5, being in the right rough, and you're like, well, this lie's terrible. I have a 9-iron out, but it could hit somebody if it doesn't fly the way I want it to. I mean, most of the time, if it's a decently clean lie, we got a pretty good idea. But it's the ones where you got like the one on number 1 there. I had it, above my feet in the thick rough, and you're like, it should come out way left, but if I thin it, which I did, it's not going to come out left. It's not going to come out high. I really didn't think much about those people. I just mishit it. So it'd be kind of like someone in the Pro-Am. We watch people get hit every week in the Pro-Am. And they, it kind of felt like that, where I was like, well, I hit that very much not the way I wanted to. And those people definitely thought I was going to hit it better. So when I saw a replay of it, I mean, I remember it. I remember hitting it and be like, because I needed it to get up in the air because it was running at this guy's head. I was like, please climb. And it just got over him. And then when I've seen the videos since, like from where they were, it's a little scary looking. But yeah, I got lucky to get through and made a par. It made it all worth it.
Yeah, tidy par there. I saw you grinding after your rounds pretty good there at Oakmont driving range. Seemed like a lot of fairway woods you were hitting. I am curious, what are you working on right now with the swing? Really nerd out for us here.
Well, I really had unbelievable control in the first round. And I did all week at Oakmont leading into it. And I just picked it up in the first round. I'm like, man, this is going to be awesome. And then kind of maybe number 3 of the first round, I just got into my bad habit of picking the club up with my hands off the ball. And so I take it on a path that takes my hands higher and drags on. And it's just what I've been fighting all year to try to get out of, bad habits I've had for a couple of years now. And so I needed to go try to fix it after on the range. And I really didn't get a hold of it until till after Friday's round, unfortunately. So I played, some poor golf off of just structural issues that I was trying to fix on Friday, and then struck it a lot better on the weekend once I kind of had the time to almost overdo some motions. And when you go to the mistakes I'm making, the easiest ones to get off on are really 3-woods off the ground. So even though I may have been hitting like 3-woods off the ground, it was with the intent that if I do it well with a 3-wood off the ground, I'll do it well with any other club. So it wasn't exactly to like, oh, I need to work on this club by any means. I only had a couple of those throughout the whole week there. So I'm trying to get nice and connected off the ball and turned early. That takes my hand path deeper, keeps my right elbow lower, and let the club just kind of set where it wants to set. Which is a place that I've played great golf from in the past, and I'm teetering on getting back there. I'm closer than I've been in a long time to being there, and the problem is right now still, when I get off, it's at a level that's, we all get off day to day, things change, but if you want it, to get off by 1 or 2, I'm still getting off by 3 or 4 just in, just reversing bad habits. So, I went from having maybe one really good ball striking day or really good mechanics early in the season, and 3 where I had to fight through. Now I'm kind of flipped it to like 3 and 1. And, if I can just keep on working, leaning on it, and working on the right things, keep kind of putting money in the same bank, just kind of adding to it, then, that consistency will be the difference maker on really contending week in and week out.
How hard has it been for you to kind of balance the long-term goals and short-term expectations coming off your off season?
It wasn't hard the first few months. And then once we've gotten post Augusta and you start tasting kind of, some success, you start thinking, okay, actually, yeah, I feel like my wrist is healthy. I feel like I can practice the way I want to. And then I'm hitting it really well. And this shot's getting easier and better. It's harder to look long-term. I just want it to obviously work out right away. And that is the biggest challenge right now, especially as I get towards the end of the season. I'm outside looking in on Ryder Cup. I know, the Open Championship is such a big event. The playoffs are huge. I think staying the course and just trying to inch versus take big strides will leave me, in a better place, short and long term. It's just, that's the biggest challenge. Is I get off one day and I want to fix it all right away, and just being okay with the ups and the downs, and recognizing that we're still going this direction right now. And in our sport, momentum is everything, and confidence is everything. And when you start to gain a little bit, even your off days, you just got to at least maintain where you're at so that your good ones keep pushing you forward.
Yeah. I am curious. You talked about at the PGA how you've turned into a much better driver of the golf ball compared to maybe earlier in your career. Is that encouraging or discouraging, this kind of evolution of your game where it's like, holy crap, you've picked up a ton of speed, you're a really good driver, but maybe some aspects of your game have lagged behind a little bit?
No, I think it's encouraging because if your driver's a weapon, the rest of the stuff I know I can be. I've had data that suggests that I could be the best in the world at most every other category. So I know I can. And once you drive it well consistently, then you start putting your attention elsewhere. I mean, a lot of it has to do with improved technology. I mean, these Titleist drivers are insane now. And I would say half of my increase in speed is just off technology. And then the other half is just off, obviously building a little bit of strength over the years, but I didn't try to chase speed. So a lot of it just has to do with confidence, right? When your window goes from here to here, you start feeling more comfortable about swinging harder. So there's, I would call it half and half. I'm not going to take credit for gaining a ton of speed when the technology's been that much better. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those, like, I feel like my wedge game is significantly better this year than it was last year. And I know why, and it's all structural. So once these mechanics get down, it brings back some of my off-speed wedges, a lot of these short iron shots that I like to feel that I can specialize in, and kind of the long clubs now have an opportunity to be better than they've been before. So I think it's more of an opportunity than an issue, especially given I know why other parts of the game suffered and I know how to fix them, and it's just taking a little bit of time.
Yeah. Speaking of, I guess one last part of the game we haven't talked about is your putting. Seems like you've gone through maybe some different stances throughout the year, I guess, a ways to put it. You had like almost a Michelle Wee tabletop era. I'm not that far.
Yeah.
But you've been like rigid at times, natural at other times. What are you working on the greens right now in particular?
Well, this last off season, I started to make a transition into getting my eye line correct, which it never had, even when I was, statistically the best putter in the world. I always had kind of my head, a little cockeyed. And I was trying to make a transition to a straight eye line, which to me made everything open up a ton. So there was just a big setup adjustments, but I had the time in the off season, and I had 4 weeks between when I could start putting and when I could start hitting balls post surgery that I figured, hey, I can nail it in. And it was pretty good. I really just was trying to match posturally and my where my grip's located, how I needed to get my left thumb more on top of the grip. There's just a lot of stuff in setup. As you mentioned, I had messed around with the last few years, and was all right. Let's just do one, and let's get it at least standing and the same distance away, the same kind of postural alignment that I've historically done when I've putted at my best, and then from there, at least get to see where the stroke's at and what needs to be worked on. So it's still a work in progress. I kind of the last few weeks I've gone away from the eye line shift that I've been doing all year and just kind of gone to what looks correct to me. And that's helped some mid-range putting and then I'm just trying to get better rise in the putter going back. I just have some habits of it's hand path habits that I'm trying to kind of offset a little bit, but I like having a significant stroke feel. I always have. At my best, I've teetered between heavy cut feel, heavy draw feel. I mean, these are things that are, I'm moving the table, a degree in path, but to me, they feel like 10, but I like it. It's something to commit to, and under pressure, I feel like I can almost feel an end range of something and it doesn't move it much, which is nice. So I'm trying to get back to that stage by fixing a lot of the little things. And there's one thing to do in the off season. It's another to do it under pressure, at a US Open, and you start to see where things are at and then lean on what needs more work.
All right. We'll get you out of here with this one. Little different speed, off speed pitch for you. Why do you love golf?
Well, because the ball's in my hand and and I'm the only one that can control the outcome. So I firsthand see the work that puts in is what you get out. And it inspires me to set goals, work my butt off. And then there's no better feeling than accomplishing something that, you prepared for. And when the ball's in your hand, you get the last shot and you pull it off. It's the greatest feeling. And I think golf's the only place that provides that for you.
Right on. All right. We appreciate you, brother.
Thanks. See you guys.